Hello everyone, good afternoon. Okay, so today's session is all about the data management fundamental assignment. As we have already discussed about the marking scheme in the last session that we had. Okay, so inside the Moodle, you will able to find the assignment and the required files. Okay, so you can browse through the Moodle, and inside Moodle you will able to see the assignment. Other than that, I have given you some simple questions for the preparation of your final exam. So that guidelines were also given to you for the exam preparations. Okay, and also there are some samples, so you'll able to get an idea what the question will be like in the end semester exam. Okay, so let us go through the assignment. So assignment submission deadline is 29th of December. Okay, so you have approximately 4 weeks time. So other than the assignment assessment specification, you have the sample data. Okay, so that will be required to work with your assignment. Okay, so let us go through the coursework uh, or assessment specification. So module title, data management fundamentals, UFC FLR 15M. Okay, so the coursework consists of 50% of the module marks and 50% are for the end semester examination. So here you have to write a technical report for an individual data design management and assess the project. So it will be roughly or approximately about 2,500 words. Okay, so submission deadline 29th of December. Okay, so you have to be submitting a Word file or a PDF file. Okay, other than that, you have 5 days grace period. So, for example, if the submission deadline is 29th of December, so that will be Thursday. So, 5 days grace period means Sunday to Thursday. So, you have the time. If by any chance you have some issues related to the submission, so you have to provide the proper justification, so there will be no penalty applicable. Otherwise, if you submit late, so late penalty will be applicable. So this is the new 5 days grace period policy that has been amended. So please remember this thing. If you have any issue in submitting the assessment, so you have to come up with the proper justification, any medical uh, certificate or any kind of thing. If you are not able to submit it on time, then there will be no penalty and 5 days grace period is allowed to you. Otherwise, you will be having a penalty, and after that period, failure to submit the assignment within the grace period will result in a non-submission being recorded. So this is some submission guidelines. So you have to submit the assignment on Moodle. Link has already been created as I showed you. Okay, so the learning outcome for the assessment is you have to understand and use the relational model to structure data for efficient and effective storage and retrieval, design, develop and validate a range of data models and schemas, understand, evaluate and apply a range of data query and manipulation languages and frameworks, demonstrate competence with theoretical and practical aspects of enterprise data methods and strategies including data cleansing, backup and recovery, security, replication, clustering, warehousing, and cloud computing. Appreciate and correctly reflect on the value of data that can be transitional, social, scientific, etc. that is already been provided to you, as well as ethical concerns, surveillance issue, privacies, and ownership, etc. So you should make sure to download and the complete bundle and go through all the files that are being available on Moodle. Okay, so for the context, so the uh, scenario is given to you as Asyad. Oman is planning to start a new train service called Oman Rail. So the Oman Rail is planning to launch an online booking system for selling tickets online, and you have been asked to provide a solution for handling the required data. After meeting with Asyad and Oman Rail management, it was made clear that your solution must consider the following things. So the aim for this context is the reservation system facilitates the passengers to inquire about the trains available on the basis of source and destination, booking and cancellation of tickets, inquire about the status of booked tickets, etc. The aim of the case study is to design and develop a database maintaining the records of different trains, train status, and passengers. So the record of train includes its number, name, source, destination, and days on which it is available, whereas record of train status include dates for which tickets can be booked, total number of seats available, and number of seats that have already been booked. As in description, passenger can book their tickets for the train in which seats are available. For this, passenger must provide the desired train number and the date for which ticket is booked. Before booking a ticket for a passenger, the validity of the train number and booking dates have to be checked. Once the train number and booking date are validated, it is checked whether the seats are available or not. If yes, the ticket is booked and confirmed status and corresponding ticket ID is generated, which is stored along with the other details of the passengers. After all the available tickets are booked, certain numbers of tickets are booked with waiting status. If waiting lot is also finished, then tickets are not booked and a message for non-availability of seats will be displayed. The ticket once booked can be cancelled at any time. For this, passenger has to provide the ticket ID that will be the unique key. The ticket is searched and the corresponding record is deleted. With this, first ticket with waiting status also get confirmed. So please note, so there are assumption that there are 5 trains in total. Tickets can be booked 5 days in advance from the date of travel, and there is only one category of the ticket. So as the minimum requirements, the database should be designed to store information about the train list, train status, passengers, booking and cancel. Train list should include the details of the available trains. The information stored in the table includes train number, source, destination, fares, and weekdays on which the train is available. Train stated details include about the dates on which tickets can be booked for a train and status of availability of the tickets. The information is stored in the tables include train number, train date, total number of seats, and the number of seats booked. Passenger details about the booked tickets and the information should include ticket ID, train number, date for which ticket is booked, name, age, gender, address of the passenger. So in the booking procedure, the train number and the train date are read from the messenger, and on the basis of values provided, record should be retrieved from the train status table. So passengers should be able to cancel tickets as well if it's required by using ticket ID. The above list is the minimum set of information that is required to be handled by the database and should consider including in your design and other types of information that are relevant to support the operation of the booking system. So this is the scenario that you have to do. References should include in the report where appropriate. The report is expected to be no more than 2,500 words. So for that, you can refer to UWE word count policy. Okay, so with this sample data CSV file has already been given to you. Okay, so like in train number, okay, this is I think Real. Okay, So it is not showing. Okay, so this is Riyals or Omani. Let us see that. I think it is not showing properly. So we'll see here. Okay, so it is not showing, but this is Riyals. Okay, so you have the train number, fare, source, destination, weekdays, seats available, seats booked, passenger ID, passenger name, passenger address, gender, ticket ID, and ticket status. This is the sample data have been given to you. Okay, so there are 2 trains, so you have the minimum of 5 trains where the people can book the tickets. Confirm, not confirm status is already there, and rest of the times and the departures. So this is the data that has already been provided. You are expected to download all the necessary files before working on the assessment. So this is the schema that is already been given to you. Okay, so train number, okay, so description and the unit that you have to create as an schema in the SQL. So your task 1 is design and write appropriate script either using Python or using Penthao data integration with the scripting language to carry out the following. So your task is to first cleanse the data that has been available over here in the sample data. Okay, so you can use Python, and with Python you have to use a script. So if you find any duplication, anything that you need to convert, you have to apply an appropriate script. So for duplication you can use the null method, is null, okay, that we have already covered. If you want, you can use Penthao data integration, but over there you have to again use the scripting language. So you have to cleanse the data with the appropriate scripting language, either Java script or Visual Basic script. Filter and remove any irrelevant records. That is the part in which you have to do and data cleansing and refactoring. Cleanse the fare field which is coming with, okay, so $sign or Omani sign, whatever it is, to work on the data. This field should be a number instead of having number with this. So if you look at the, so this either it will be Omani Riyal, dollar, or it can be any other field. Okay, so let's see if it is coming as dollar. I am not sure why it's not picking up. Okay, so you have to cleanse the data and it should be a whole number without the currency or the value sign. So for this you need to do with the scripting language, either with Python, Penthao, or any other ETL tool. Refract the data and save for further process. Then coming to task number 2, you have to use MySQL Workbench or any other tool. If you are using MS SQL Server or anything, you have to create the database for this scenario. Okay, so you can use the re-engineering to create the ER model, or if you want, you can directly create an ER model and you can import in MySQL Workbench. Use the forward engineering feature for the MySQL Workbench to generate the SQL schema and implement the database. Okay, so you have to create the script in order to generate the database. That we have already discussed in the lectures as well. So you can use the forward engineering to fill out the schema, and you can implement the database. Then coming to task number 3, you have to write, design, and run the SQL queries. Okay, so here you have to give an example of SQL statement of building the database table for the given scenario. An example SQL statement of populating the database table with values. An SQL query to retrieve available trains for a particular date. an SQL query to retrieve the train details such as the status of the availability of tickets on the specific date, an SQL query to retrieve the average price of all the tickets sold, and SQL query to retrieve the overall number of tickets sold for a particular date. Please remember, when you are creating the database, it should be a normalized database. Okay, so this one that is given to you is not normalized. You have to first create the ER diagram and do the normalization, and then you can work on your task number 3. Then coming on task number 4, you have to implement and query a selected NoSQL database. So it's up to you, either use MongoDB, Xbase, and Couchbase DB, or any other NoSQL database which you feel comfortable. So you have to model the data to the NoSQL data model, key value, XML or graph to implement the selected database type, product, and pipe or import the data. So you must recreate query 3 in task 3 to verify your implementation. So whatever you have done over here, so you have to create it on NoSQL database. You can also select from any of these databases you want. Okay, so we have already covered MongoDB, and we had the workshop on Xbase. So it's up to you, whichever one you want. If you want any other, you can do that. It's totally up to you. So coming to task number 5, compare and contrast the SQL and NoSQL solution, discussing the advantages and disadvantages of both the approaches related to the scenario. Okay, please do not give the general advantages or disadvantages. It has to be related with your scenario. So your task 5 should not exceed 800 words. You have to use proper citation and references. So 7 marks for compare and contrast, 7 marks for advantages and disadvantages, 6 marks for correct references used in the task. Then you have task number 6, you have the reflective report, a clear and concise report describing the problem, solution, and possible visualization that you can have over here with these database. Some reflection on the learning outcome that you have achieved, that we have already discussed at the start. So these are the learning outcomes. So you can relate to the learning outcome from 1 to 5. These learning outcomes. So this report should not be less than 500 words. So as for tutor support, this coursework is seen as providing a learning experience in the tools and technologies used in the module. Support will be provided in workshop and via email. Tutor help can be requested for any aspect of the coursework, such as the overall design, implementation problems, or data structuring. Please ask for assistance after a bit of an effort with the problem rather than getting stuck. The assessment should be your own work. Allowing others to do the work for you or sharing significant portions of code with others will be considered an assessment offense and may lead to your work being reduced to 0. Part of marking process will include similarity checks, and we may ask you to explain your code in detail to verify that is your own work. Please refer to the assessment offense policy document for further information. So in deliverables, a technical report for an individual data design, management, and assess project, approximately around 2,500 word in MS Word or PDF file through Moodle. The student will be able to submit single file using student id.docx or PDF as whatever is there. So this marking criteria we have already discussed in the last session. So task 1 will be having 16% weightage that requires crop, cleanse, and refactor the data. So all the scripts should be well designed, structured, and commented. Scripts make use of data frames, chunking, and other technique as appropriate depending upon the requirement. Cropped and cleansed data is correctly formatted and complete. For task 2, create and implement a normalized database, 12% weightage. Okay, so ER diagram showing all the entities, keys, attributes, and relationship, and implemented database structure with all required table, field, and keys. Task 3, write a Python script to generate the required SQL. So the scripts are well designed, structured, and commented. The script make use of the objects and of functions that are as required. The script generates valid SQL matching the database script. The database is populated with the base data, and that consists of 20% weightage. Task 4, design and run the SQL queries which are valid and return the required result, that is 12% weightage. Task 5, model, implement and query a selected NoSQL database, that is 30%. So database is one chosen from the list provided unless explicitly agreed with the tutor if you are going to use another database that are listed above. An adequate data model is developed and realized, that is implementation. Sample data is imported into the selected database type of product, evidence of example query implementation and the result output. At the end, task number 6, reflected report, that is 10%, a clear and concise report describing the problem solution and possible visualization with some reflection on the learning outcome achieved. At the end, you have the grading scheme, so how much marks you will be attaining and how much percentage along with the degree classification. So you can go through this classification. If you have any queries, issues or problems, you can always refer back to me. Thank you very much. If you have any further questions, you may contact me anytime through email or through WhatsApp. Thank you.